Hello everyone, back at it again. In this video I will be showing you how to change the front brakes on a Honda Odyssey. As you can see, we're working on the driver's side of the vehicle. I had already removed the wheel and now we're removing the bolt off the hose for the caliper. It makes it a lot easier to work with. So these two bolts right here are for the caliper. Unbolt those. I also removed the boot or the bolt off the top of the hose, so this thing's easy to move out of the way. And this sits underneath the CV boot really well. And as you can see, we've got a clip, two clips on here. These two clips help spread the brake pads apart so they don't ride on the calipers. We have new ones for that. And then if you look at this shoe right here has a special clip and it's on top. These pads have been changed before. I got them online. If you look at the shoes are in pretty good condition. This thing vibrates when you're going downhill and braking, or if you brake hard. These pads are pretty even wear, but you want to check the pads for wear, unevenness, and cracking. You also want to check your slide bolts to make sure that they're free moving. It is still loose. We'll pop open the seal to verify and make sure the grease is good. Grease is good there. Check the grease down here. Grease is good down there. So these are good. Then we have these clips on here. So these clips just pop off. We have new ones for that. And then we'll remove the bracket that holds the caliper on. So this bolt right here is a 19 millimeter. This bolt was a 14 millimeter, and the bolt up top was a 13 millimeter, or this was a 12 millimeter up here that holds the hose on. The bolts on the opposite side were really tight, so I used a breaker bar here and then the impact. Pull this out of here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna spray this, clean this real good. You always want to make sure you clean all this dust off because it does build up. So you clean the face where the rotor sits. If you don't, then the rotor over time will eventually get stuck, and then they're just a pain to get off sometimes. Usually not, but it does happen. So we clean that up. Clean the bracket up. You want to focus on where the clips were sitting. You don't need to worry about everything, all the outside stuff like that. We will do a quick scrub on them, but it's not as much of an issue. Care about your lungs, you want to wear a mask for this. There's asbestos in brake pads, I believe. Asbestos is I believe has to do with heat transfer. Before you install the rotor, you're going to want to clean the rotor off with brake cleaner, both surfaces, because they're covered in oil from the factory to keep them clean and rust free. Stick the rotor on after you've cleaned it. And then what I use, because this just fits over the stud as a bearing, just to hold the rotor on while you do your work. You're going to put the clips, the new clips on. Easier to deal with when they're off. So if you see, they just pop into place. This helps with vibration, squealing. So you just put the two clips on. All right, so that's screwed in. That's screwed in. Torque wrench on if you don't know what you're doing. Even if you do know what you're doing, you should use a torque wrench. But I don't, because I feel confident. Don't forget the one with the clip. You put the one with the clip up on the back side. Slide the back in, slide the front in. Make sure the pad sits flat. Sometimes it seems like it's in, but it's not. Okay, those are in. Then what we'll do, I forgot to clean the caliper off and compress it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean all this off, and then we're gonna put a C-clamp on. We're gonna put a pad here, and then we'll put a C-clamp on here. And I should have done this first, so the rotor wouldn't get disgusting. So we're gonna get something to sit this on. Main focus is the surfaces, where the pads sit. You see all the brake dust coming off. Then what we'll do is we'll take an old brake pad. Let's stick an old brake pad in here. Now, if you're worried about damaging the pad, the old pad, and you're gonna turn it in for warranty, then you wanna make sure you don't crank on this too tight, because if you do, it could damage the pad, and then they're not gonna give you the warranty. You can see I've got the C-clamp on here, pad. It's gonna pull back on the pistons. Nice and easy. What it's doing is it's pushing the fluid back up the line. Just nice and easy. Don't have to go fast. Pistons are all in. So we've got these two little clips. There's holes. You just put them in the holes. And this is gonna cause the pads to spread out. So you're gonna have to hold the pads together when you do this. Then we take our caliper. Slide our caliper on. There we go. We'll take our bolts. I think that was the wrong bolt that I just stuck on top. That's why it stopped turning. It's obviously, it's even a different thread. This one goes up here. Okay, and then get our other bolt for this, for the top of the caliper. Now these are definitely a smaller bolt, like, I don't know, 7-8 millimeter probably. So we're not gonna crank those down. These are probably in the ballpark of 30 foot-pounds probably. Maybe not even that much, maybe 20 foot-pounds. You would be able to literally crank these until they break. So you gotta be careful with that. All right, and we gotta put this bolt on. I believe that one was 12 millimeter. Yep, 12 millimeter. Tighten that one. All right, and that's how you do your brakes. That's how you do the brakes on a 2018 Honda Odyssey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section.